Here's 10 reasons why you're not losing weight on a GLP-1 medication. And make sure you stick around for the bonus at the end. Hey everybody, it's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss journey, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. So today I'm going to be going over rapid fire, okay? Not a 30-minute video. Rapid fire, the reasons why you may not be losing weight on your GLP-1.
These are all things that you definitely want to discuss with your doctor. I am not a doctor, right? I'm just giving you my experience and also information that I have accumulated through research.
Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we're jumping right into it. Like I said, rapid fire. Number one, and the most common one that gets brought up, that people are like, I'm not losing weight, You're on a starter dose, or you're on one of the first 3 levels of dosing on your GLP-1, whether it's Semaglutide or Tirzepatide, and people are just not losing weight yet. It's because you're at those beginning starter doses. Remember that when they first started out with this medication, the whole idea was to get you up to a dose where the medication starts working, but they can't do that by taking you from 0 to 50 in 2.5 seconds like a Ferrari, right? They have to slowly work it up so that you don't become sick from side effects. So if you've just started out on your journey and you're not losing weight yet, please don't panic. There's still time. You just may need to go up in dose. Speaking of going up in dose, number 2, you may need a higher dose from where you are. So if you had previously been losing weight, but now let's say you've been on 5 milligram Mounjaro for a couple of months and now your weight loss has stalled, keep in mind a stall is 4 weeks or longer of not losing any weight. Then it may be time for you to talk to your doctor about going up in dose. Remember, you don't want to just arbitrarily go up in dose every single month, because that can cause you to max out on these medications and you may not reach your goal weight, especially if you were somebody like myself who started out at a much higher weight. So make sure that you're talking to your doctor about when you need to go up in dose, and don't just go up every 4 weeks simply because you can. Number 3, track your calories. And I know that there are some people who are not going to be able to do this portion of the explanation, but for those of us who can count calories, where it's not triggering for you, if you're not doing it and you're not losing weight, then it doesn't matter how many posts you make in a support group, no one is going to be able to help you. It doesn't matter if you go to a nutritionist or a dietitian, they're not going to be able to specifically identify where you're going wrong. And let's be honest, tracking calories is not as arduous as it used to be back in the day. You can download a free app like MyFitnessPal, use the free version of the app, track your calories very easily throughout the day, or even plan ahead for your meals. There's a good tip there. And that way you can make sure that you're in a calorie deficit so that you lose weight. Next up, alcohol. And this one always prompts people to leave nasty comments in my comment section. But if you are drinking alcohol, then you are slowing down your metabolism. Please keep in mind that generally speaking, depending on your metabolism, alcohol can slow down your metabolism anywhere from 1 to 3 days. So having that glass of wine at night, or having that mixed drink, or having drinks every night, you are slowing down your metabolism, and it may be the reason why you're not seeing the weight loss that you're really looking for. Next up, protein and fiber. So if you're not getting enough protein and you're not getting enough fiber, then you will likely see that your appetite is going up, right? The suppression may not be strong enough to keep you satisfied if you're not getting in that protein. And if you're not getting in the fiber, right, you're not feeding that good gut bacteria, and you're also not keeping things moving through your digestive tract. Remember, this medication slows down your digestion, so we want to make sure that we're getting in the fiber. How much fiber? It's recommended for women that you get at least 25 grams of fiber, and for men, 38 grams of fiber. I didn't make that up. Google it. Next up, you're skipping weeks of injections, right? I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people post in support groups and they're like, oh, I'm going on vacation, I'm going to skip my injection. Then they gain, a bunch of weight and they come back and they're so upset and they have to start over. But what they don't realize is when you do that, you are actually breaking up the buildup of the medication in your system. Remember, the whole point of starting at a lower dose and then slowly working your way up is to slowly build up the medication in your system. If you're not taking it consistently, then that may be the reason why you're not seeing the weight loss results that you want. You're not getting enough sleep, or you're completely stressed out. These two are key for weight loss. If you are completely stressed out, then your body is going to release the dreaded cortisol, right? That everybody blows out of proportion. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that to you. But it does have an effect on your weight loss. So if you are completely stressed out, you have to give yourself a little bit of leeway and say, hey, I'm stressed out. That's why I'm not losing weight. Make sure you're staying on top of your nutrition. And then if you are doing all the things, the weight loss will come once the stress subsides. And as far as sleep loss goes, if you are struggling with insomnia or you're just not getting that 7 to 8 hours a night, then you may want to look into upping your exercise routine, right? So you can kind of get yourself tired, or you may want to look into utilizing a natural supplement or talk to your doctor about how much you should be taking of something like a melatonin or something like that. Something that's non-addictive, right, to help you kind of get back in that sleep routine. Also, routine is the key word here. Make sure that you have a sleep routine, because as you kind of wind down for the evening, there are certain points where your brain will say, oh, we're getting ready to go to bed, and that will help you to fall asleep. You may be relying solely on the appetite suppression and not utilizing tracking your calories or prioritizing protein to ensure that you are losing weight. And what do I mean by this? Well, I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people post in support groups and they're like, oh, I eat whatever I want, just in smaller portions. As you continue on the medication, especially if you are doing things correctly and going low and slow and staying on a dose as long as it's working for you rather than titrating up quickly, you will find that you will start to get used to a dose, right? And then as you get used to it, your side effects go away and your appetite may increase. So if you are solely relying on that appetite suppression to keep you eating a small amount as far as portions go, then you are doing yourself a disservice, because at some point it's going to catch up with you. And then those people often end up posting in support groups saying, I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. And then people like myself say, are you tracking your calories? And they say, no, I'm just relying on suppression. Guess what? The answer is track your calories, because you will find that you are likely either right at maintenance or you are over in calories, and that's why you're either not losing weight or gaining weight. So I'm not saying that you have to track calories for the rest of your life. It's a tool, and you can use it to examine what you're doing and pinpoint where a problem might be occurring. Number 10, you may have other comorbidities that are working against you. And this one is really challenging, especially for people like myself who have diabetes, right? Because we know that everything is just harder for us. And, you may have other challenges, diseases, conditions, right? Hashimoto's, PCOS, The list goes on, and those things may be actively working against you. This is why it's very important that you talk to your doctor and that your doctor is experienced in helping those on GLP-1s, right, who have other health conditions, so that they can best direct you on what you need to do. Now, up for the bonus round, we've got, last but not least, you may be a non-responder, but before you can classify yourself as a non-responder, and this is the key point, please make sure you are listening. If you are starting out at the starter dose, you go all the way to the highest dose, and you don't get results. That means you're a non-responder. Then, what I recommend is that you look at switching to another GLP-1 medication. If you're on Semaglutide, switch to Tirzepatide. If you're on Tirzepatide, switch to Semaglutide, right? Many times people will go all the way to the highest dose of one medication and not get the results that they're looking for. Then they make the switch and the magic happens. But you cannot do that and classify yourself as a non-responder until you go all the way up to the highest dose of that medication. I cannot tell you how many times people get halfway through and they're not getting the same results as other people, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. And then they go, okay, forget Semaglutide, I'm going to switch to Tirzepatide, or forget Tirzepatide, I'm going to switch to Semaglutide, right? And then they find that there's a process that goes with that. And I've done a video on switching from one medication to the other and all the nuances that go with that. So if that's information that you need, definitely go check that out. But just keep in mind that there is a small number of people who are actual non-responders. Most people are responding to the medication, but some don't see the results until they get all the way to the highest dose. It breaks free, and then they start losing all of the weight, and they stay at that highest dose until they reach their goal weight. I know that can be frustrating, but you gotta stick with it. You gotta stick with it before you just assume that it's not working for you. Each person is an individual, each person is different, so just do the best that you can. I hope you found this rapid fire video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Make sure you check out my other videos where I have helpful tips and tricks to help you on your health journey. If you're looking for a positive only support group where you can ask your questions and get help and get support and not be attacked, definitely check out the link in my description box below. We'd love to have you there. And as always, be kind, rewind.